Hey, welcome back. So glad you're here at beyoungministry.blogspot.com. We're still in 2 Peter. We're in the first chapter. Verses 7 and 8 read, "And to godliness mutual affection, and to mutual affection love. For if you possess these qualities in increasing measure, they will keep you from being ineffective and unproductive in your knowledge of our Lord Jesus Christ." Again, that's 2 Peter chapter 1, verses 7 and 8. As we considered yesterday, Peter has given us certain qualities produced by the Spirit of God in the life of the yielded believer who is feeding the Spirit of God, who has made his spirit alive to God. And thus, he is experiencing the life of God in his everyday life. That's life a lot, isn't it? Peter writes in 2 Peter 1, 5 and 6, "For this very reason make every effort to add to your faith goodness, and to goodness knowledge, and to knowledge self-control, and to self-control perseverance, and to perseverance godliness." Faith plus goodness plus knowledge plus self-control plus perseverance plus godliness. Well, today we add to these mutual affection and love. I don't believe Peter means that these quality traits are added to our character in just this sequence. There is a lot of overlapping among these qualities. For example, love is already present in patience, as we discover in 1 Corinthians chapter 13 and verse 4. Therefore, I believe Peter is saying true Christians do not stop pursuing growth in God's grace and His promises, as indicated earlier in this chapter and in 2 Peter 3:18. True Christians apply themselves with diligence to increase in these things. The word Peter uses here for mutual affection is Philadelphian, which is brotherly love or companionship love. And the word Peter uses for love is agape, which is commitment love. So he wraps it all up with companionship and commitment. The literal translation of 2 Peter 1, 5 through 7 is, "So don't lose a minute in building on what you've been given, complementing your basic faith with good character, spiritual understanding, alert discipline, passionate patience, reverent wonder, warm friendliness, and generous love. Each dimension fitting into and developing the others." God works all of this together somehow in our lives as we yield to Him and as we receive His culture or His definition of things. You see, here in this passage, particularly in 2 Peter 1:8 here, where Peter writes, "For you possess these qualities in increasing measure, they will keep you from being ineffective and unproductive in your knowledge of our Lord Jesus." So here, Peter begins to frame up the arsenal that he's been given to us. I'm sure you know it's possible to make a start in the Christian life and then become indifferent and unfeeling and careless to the grace of God. It's the grace of God that marinates our souls into not only loving others, but more importantly, loving God. And of course, when we become indifferent to God and His culture, we will drift away from His provisions and into destruction of some form, or other translations say corruption. If we're not feeding the Spirit of God who lives in ours and subsequently being defined by God, we will be defined by our flesh, which will bring corruption, according to Galatians chapter 6 and verse 8. You see, the answer is that we're motivated by God's promises, which spur us on to strive against the tide of self, resulting in fruitfulness and the ability to spot the faults when it comes. knocking on the door of our souls. My friend, I trust your walk with the Lord is increasing and in reality. I trust these podcasts are helping you in your walk with the Lord. If I can be of any help to you, always feel free to contact me at beyoungministry@gmail.com. That's beyoungministry@gmail.com. Have a great day.